We have been talking about tokenization for a while on this channel, and I know that it kind of does get a little bit repetitive, but the reason why I continue to talk about tokenization is because of what we hear from major players from this space. We keep hearing that tokenization is going to disrupt not just, 1 trillion, not just 10 trillion, but hundreds of trillions into quadrillions of dollars. And if we really take a step back and think about that, this market has yet to even hit $10 trillion. So to think about the long-term path ahead when we are really kind of addressing tokenization, we have so much more to accomplish in the space. And that means that this space, once it hits some of these higher market capitalizations, think about how much more valuable XRP will be, for an example. I am very excited about the future for this entire market when it comes to tokenization. But let's actually address the tokenization revolution that is happening around the XRP ledger. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. And also, if you guys are not in the free Discord, what are you guys waiting for? Join up. You won't regret it. And with that being said, let's dive on in. So there was a report by Ripple, and it was actually titled Scaling Tokenization and Building Interoperability in Primary and Secondary Markets. We actually have here the value of tokenized US Treasury assets on public blockchains like Ethereum and Polygon has surpassed $650 million in August of 2023, up from just a $100 million value in January the same year. Hong Kong just completed issuance of tokenized green bonds worth about $100 million, and Northern Trust just announced a new DLT project that enables tokenization of carbon markets. These are, however, only notional wins when compared with the predictions around the total potential of tokenization, predicted to be in the $20 trillion range by 2030 by the likes of Boston Consulting Group and Citi. Now, when we actually look at this, view of tokenization, these values that we hear about are very small wins compared to where we are actually headed. I mean, again, I always bring up derivatives because it's such a massive market. But, again, I also want you guys to understand that, I don't want you guys to mess up this opportunity that you are being presented with. I get the short-term idea of investing. I understand it. But we have such a life-changing opportunity in front of us that I don't think that a lot of people are actually realizing. But let's actually go over here real quick. So we have here Ripple XRP, massive bullish momentum behind Ripple and XRP, explained brilliantly by Ryan Rasmussen from Bitstamp today. SEC headwinds dissipate. DeFi on XRP Ledger. XRP Ledger meme coin mania. RLUSD launch institutional DeFi clients, payments use cases, and XRP ETF institutional capital flows. As he finishes explaining his entrance into the crypto market was with XRP. Now, this is actually from Paul Barron, but check this real quick out because this is showing you just how much momentum there is behind XRP and the XRPL.
If you look at where XRP has kind of come from, do you have any predictions on XRP for 2025?
That's a great question. I should caveat and say that I actually entered the crypto market through XRP back in the day. It was like the first crypto asset that I found. It was like,
There you go.
this is going to change the way the world functions. So I have a soft spot in my heart for XRP. We're really excited about XRP. It wasn't in one of our predictions necessarily, but I do believe XRP has just been held back so significantly by being, the focal point of the SEC for many, many years. And now that we're going to see, that headwind dissipate, I think XRP has a really strong setup. We talked about the stablecoin that they just launched that now has 50 million plus in market cap. I know people are excited about DeFi that's happening on top of XRP. I even saw some of the meme coin mania that's happened on Solana and on Ethereum. I saw some talks of that on Twitter, that will bleed into the XRP market. And so I do think that you have this regulatory cloud that's evaporated over XRP, and that's obviously led to some strong price performance. And then you have actual real developments and innovation happening. And you mentioned partnerships with institutions. I think all of those could drive XRP higher if a potential XRP ETP comes to market, that's obviously another catalyst where you're going to have institutional capital flowing in and easier access to XRP for investors. So I'm really excited about XRP. I think it's in a great spot going into 2024. It probably hasn't been in this great of a spot since pre-2020.
And he is 100% correct here, right? It has not been in a spot like this since going all the way back to 2019, 2018, even 2017. XRP today is extremely bullish. But also, yeah, we are seeing a big revolution happening around the XRP ledger and even around XRP. The main thing that I really kind of look at is the tokenization revolution. I do think that that is brewing right now with all of these great, initiatives that are happening around the XRP ledger, and also a lot of the strides being made around the regulatory side of things. And even if we go over here, remember what David Schwartz told us, right? This goes all the way back to February 4th of this year. Tokenization is about to revolutionize the XRP ledger, and Ripple CTO David Schwartz unveils the timeline, 12 to 18 months. With a $1.4 quadrillion market, even a 1% capture means trillions flowing into XRP. But check this out.
That's one of the many reasons why the XRP ledger is going to be a good place to launch tokenized real-world assets. I think we'll see that in the next year and a half. I'm hoping that we're going to see, as real-world asset tokenization projects grow, I think the XRP ledger is going to be a really good platform for them to launch on, particularly because of the low fees and because of the integration with the DEX, with the proximity to sort of the movement of funds. The ability, if someone's going to buy, what do you want to do with a real-world tokenized asset? You want to buy it, you want to sell it, you want to hold it, you want to transfer it. And if you want to buy it and sell it, you want to be able to do that with whatever asset is convenient for you. You don't want to tie, if you tokenize some sort of debt, you don't want to tie it to US dollars, because then that limits access to it to people who have sort of proximity to US dollars. One of the things the XRP ledger is good for is giving you sort of proximity to many different assets, and that exchange is seamlessly built in. So I think that's one of the many reasons why the XRP ledger is going to be a good place to launch tokenized real-world assets. I think we'll see that in the next year and a half. That's one of the...
And, this is something that I want you guys to understand, right? It's not just about, the tokenization revolution, so they're just going to tokenize trillions and that's it. No, it's going to tokenize trillions and then create a complete marketplace for it as well, where XRP is basically the bridge and settlement asset. Now, on top of that, over here we have from the IMF tokenization panel discussing banks and financial institutions currently tokenizing their assets on a blockchain. The switch is already happening. Listen closely, and big shout to Smoke Dog for this. Check it out.
And what you're doing is we're putting together a process framework, a governance framework for banks to tokenize their asset on this network. For example, you can tokenize from money market fund to bonds, to equities, to deposits, and put that representation on the network and allow it to move between two parties. Today in Singapore, almost close to a dozen banks are already personalizing their asset on the network. Standard Chartered Bank just announced, I think few months back, they're tokenizing their trade receivables. UBS is tokenizing their money market fund. JPM is tokenizing their deposits. So you can see that switch is happening already. And from a market efficiency perspective, you are dramatically reducing the operational processes out of the system. So we feel that without going into the complex definition of what token is from a legal standpoint or from an academic standpoint, I look at it as pure a tech delight, complete tech delight. You take that piece of asset, put it in the network, where you can mix two things, the value of the asset and ownership of the asset into a single piece of token. And if I can get the network governed properly, you can move the asset among ourselves without the need for people to reconcile between databases. That's what is happening in Singapore.
And so you see this as potentially transformative.
Now, we are starting to see that big switch. I mean, if you really think about it, all the institutions, all the enterprises are starting to line up for this use case. I mean, we see it happening even right now as you look at BlackRock, you look at Fidelity, you look at, Franklin Templeton, you look at Archix with, Aberdeen. I mean, it's happening. It is happening. Now, Ripple did put out this full PDF file, right? This was back in September of 2023, defining industry standards, scaling tokenization, and building interoperability in the primary and secondary markets. Now, within this, we're met with the executive summary. This is where you start to kind of see the big picture. Tokenization enables the creation of digital representations for financial or real-world assets on blockchains or distributed ledgers, offering transparency, liquidity, and accessibility. While not a new phenomenon, it has gained renewed interest in the last couple of years, with significant traction in institutional financial services. This is primarily due to the potential to improve primary and secondary markets by unlocking trapped liquidity, enhancing compliance, and reducing cost through efficiency gains brought by standardization, automation, and disintermediation. And you know what's crazy? Look at these values down here. So we're met with, in the near term, tokenization of financial and real world assets is projected to reach up to $5 trillion by 2030. We know it's between 5 and 16 trillion, with notable growth in private markets and the repo, securities financing, and collateral markets. Ultimately, the long-term potential value of assets to be tokenized is massive, from the $250 trillion global capital markets to $300 trillion plus global real estate market. Now we have here pushing tokenization over the tipping point. For a more widespread adoption, challenges such as access to expertise, inconsistent regulatory treatment, and a lack of mature interoperable networked infrastructure need to be addressed. Many banks today recognize the immense potential of tokenization, but also acknowledge the difficulty of going beyond proofs of concept to demonstrating real value and compelling business cases. To scale tokenization effectively, infrastructure must be scalable, standardized, and networked, enabling seamless communication and data sharing. And we're now starting to see a lot of those barriers being lowered, especially with the regulatory frameworks. We actually see that even being mentioned here in terms of those regulatory developments in the EU, the UK, Switzerland, Singapore, and even Hong Kong. And what's crazy is, like, I don't think people realize that all of this is going to be centered around public blockchains. I mean, DeFi, institutional DeFi is the big focus from my point of view. But we look at XRP, we look at the XRP ledger. You cannot scale tokenization use cases on Ethereum. You cannot scale tokenization use cases on Bitcoin. So what do we look at? Well, you know, XRP has been around forever, right? It's been around almost as long as Bitcoin. Ripple has been around, you know, since going all the way back to like 2006. That's when like the earlier, you know, inventions around like Ripple really kind of came to be. So if we think about how long this has been around in terms of just Ripple, and then we look at XRP and the XRPL, you know, this is where I start to kind of think, you know, Ripple's been there since day one. David Schwartz had the patent for DLT back in the 80s. The XRP ledger has been purposely built for these types of use cases. And even over here, we have the XRP ledger is ideal for real world asset tokenization, compliance, multi-purpose tokens, and the DEX. I suspect they're right, folks. And here we have from Bitwise, 2025 prediction. Tokenized real world assets will reach $50 billion. Wall Street is starting to recognize that tokenization offers clear advantages. We suspect that a wave of big institutional money is about to pour in. Now, this isn't from just some random individual on X. This is from Bitwise. They are literally telling you what's about to happen. They are telling you that Wall Street is here. They're teeing up to have that, you know, institutional money flood in. I want you guys to understand that this is no longer, you know, a speculative game. The biggest players are on the sidelines about to throw trillions of dollars into the space. Tokenization is going to capture all of the money in the world. The XRP ledger stands at the forefront of this. I don't think that the XRP ledger is going to capture all the money, but it doesn't have to. 1%, 5%, 10%. Guys, small percentages could severely impact the network in a positive way through volume, value, and just overall use. This will lead to XRP becoming very valuable. And we're not going to talk about, you know, massive price predictions, but I just think that it's going to create a ton of revenue for the network. But the best part about this is that as an XRP holder, you don't even have to think about, oh, well, you know, I want it to be this valuable. Guys, the XRP ledger is going to provide you with passive income opportunities once all of this happens. And it's going to be through DeFi. Even right now, there's passive income opportunities on the XRP ledger. But I would rather get into the passive income opportunities when the space is more regulated and we have a lot more money tied into it. That way we can make sure that we are making basically life-changing wealth off of just the passive income side of things. But the whole picture here is now laid out in front of you. All you have to do is be patient. All you have to do is make sure that you are, locked in on the target. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely have a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.